A few things, thanks, Karine. On this meeting regarding AI and other technology issues, has the president himself ever been shown or used these new AI tools?
I'm not going to get ahead of the PCAST meeting. I think you'll see more and hear more from the president, so I'm not going to get ahead of what the president's going to be talking about and announcing.
Okay.
That's a tease. Following up on the Evan Gershkovich case, can you confirm here that the Russian ambassador was summoned to the State Department to discuss this detention?
I don't have anything to confirm from here.
That's an odd thing to say.
Almost everything else I want to ask about, so I want to ask about this. Nicaragua. This week, Daniel Ortega has banned Holy Week street processions due to unspecified security concerns, meaning people in this overwhelmingly Catholic country cannot participate, in essence, profess their faith. Comes a few weeks after Ortega detained a Roman Catholic bishop. I know you were asked, and Kirby was asked about this recently, just wondering if the Biden administration has any response to these.
A couple of things. Yes, I know that question, I believe, came up last week. Look, there has been a dramatic deterioration of respect for democratic principles and human rights by the Ortega Murillo regime in Nicaragua, including the harassment and imprisonment of democratic leaders, members of the political opposition, faith leaders, students, and journalists as well. The United States finds this unacceptable, condemns these actions, and we have already taken a number of actions, as you know, Ed, to promote accountability for the regime's actions, including by imposing sanctions, and we will continue to do so.
Oh my God.
And we'll go to the back. Go ahead, Ed.
Thanks, Green. So on the technology event coming up later, so critics are saying the president has been late on TikTok to act against TikTok. So what's the time frame then for guidelines on artificial intelligence or a pause on more powerful artificial intelligence?
So look, when it comes to TikTok, I want to be very clear. There's a CFIUS review. You've heard us say that over and over again from this podium, and that still stands. And the president has been very, very clear about his concern, his national security concern as it relates to the American people with this app. So just want to be very clear here. And so, look, like I said last time, this question was asked by your colleague here, who was very dramatic about AI. Well, look, I don't have a time frame to share with you. As I mentioned, there's a comprehensive process, mentioned this last week, which is underway to figure out how we're going to have a cohesive federal government approach to this. And this is incredibly important. You're going to hear from the president. He's going to speak to this. As you know, as I mentioned, he's going to speak to PCAST, so I'll let him let you hear from him directly. But clearly, this is something that the team is looking at and is very focused on.
Great word.
If I could, House Republicans are meeting with the Taiwan president today. The top lawmakers, though, on the Hill are calling for information or hearings on information related to Chinese-made cranes at U.S. ports. Should there be hearings or an assessment by the NSC about possible spying by the Chinese at U.S. ports through these cranes?
I think you've asked me this question before. Nothing has changed from what I shared with you the last time. I'm just not going to get into it from here about hearings.
How ironic.
Okay, but there's a way to do this, my friend. You know that. Give me a second. Let me get around. Go ahead, Ben.
On Evan Gershkovich's case, how worrying of a sign is it that the U.S. still does not have consular access to him, and what are you doing at a higher level to push for that?
Well, I just laid out the conversations that Secretary Blinken had with his counterpart just over the weekend. We're taking this very seriously. Mm-hmm. This is a priority for this president. Yes, we are concerned, and we're working diligently, very hard to get a counselor to Evan. That again, this is a priority, and so is Paul Whelan. Want to make sure I lay that out for folks as well. But yes, we are doing the State Department is doing all that they can to make sure a counselor is available to Evan. As you know, these are challenging circumstances, as you all know, and we are doing, again, everything in our power to get a counselor access to him quickly.
Awkward.
The Journal's lawyers have been trying to visit him in prison. Is the White House in touch with the Journal about this, and how soon do you expect them to visit him?
I don't have anything to read out about a conversation with about the Wall Street Journal. I just don't have anything to read out on that.
Lord have mercy.
Go Go ahead.
Thank you very much, Karine. Not asking about Trump, but about the precedent that this opens. Does the White House believe that a former president could or should be indicted?
I'm just not going to comment from here. Okay. All right. Oh, go ahead, Peter.
To follow up on that, President Biden is a lawyer. Is he
And
concerned?
the President of the United States and the Commander-in-Chief, but go ahead.
He is, but as a lawyer, is he concerned at all that a local DA indicting a former president could, down the line, open up the possibility, set the precedent, that local DAs that don't like former President Biden could indict him?
I'm not going to comment from here.
Oh boy.
Why don't you have more to say about the Trump
It
indictment?
is an ongoing case, and I've been very clear about that. We've been prudent about that, not commenting on ongoing cases, and we're going to stick to that.
But for
Peter?
better or worse, all that anybody in the country is talking about at this exact moment while we are in here is Trump. And they look here to find out what the White House thinks about it. And
Well, I think the American people should feel reassured that when there is an ongoing case like this one, that we're just not commenting.
so, does the lack of comment mean that you do not think anything happening in New York today is one of the top issues facing the country at the moment?
That's your assessment. That's not my assessment. I'm just laying out the facts that we are just not going to comment on an ongoing case from here. And we've been very consistent, we've been very prudent, and we're going to stick there. Courtney, go ahead.
Thanks, Karine. I wanted to ask you about judges. Senator Hyde-Smith said today that she's not going to return a blue slip for Scott Cullum, who's your nominee for a court in Mississippi. Did you have awareness on that, and are you going to proceed with the nomination?
So this is the first that I'm hearing about this, so I would have to go back to my team before I can comment fully.
Not a joke.
I also wanted to ask you about unwinding the pandemic measures. Can you talk about the the requirement that foreign travelers be vaccinated? Is that something that you're reconsidering, or that people should expect to unwind along with the public health emergency as we head toward May 11th?
So, look, I'll say more broadly the work that this administration has done since day one, since the president walked into this administration on really dealing with COVID-19 and long COVID, and long COVID continues, right? COVID is still with us. We're in a different place than we have been, and that's because of the work that this president has done. And thanks to those actions, we've seen that progress has been made. We're in better positions to transition out of the emergency phase of this response. That is important because of the comprehensive response that we have had, that this president has pushed forward. And when we have more to say, I certainly will share that closer to May. I don't have anything to preview or to announce at this time.
You sure about that?
Afghanistan.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you so much. Are there any circumstances, stepping back from New York, are there any circumstances under which President Biden would consider a pardon for former President Trump similar to Ford's pardon of Nixon? And has that been discussed with any advisors? Is it completely off the table?
I'm not going to get into hypotheticals. I'm not going to get into any of that. All I can tell you is that we do not comment from here on any ongoing cases. Anything that's related to any of those cases, I refer you either to the DA as it relates to what's happening today, or the Department of Justice. We're just not going to comment from here.